At this point in the training, you may be asking yourself, is there any hope? Rest assured that hope is on the way, and it comes through the form of resiliency. Resilience is the process that individuals go through to positively adapt in the face of extreme diversity. The good news is that resilience after trauma is common. Many people go through traumatic events and return to their former level of functioning. While over half of the US population experiences severe trauma, only about 8% of individuals will go on to experience post-traumatic stress disorder. Experiencing some levels of stress is actually a good thing. It can contribute to our own resilience and our ability to cope with future stressors by showing us that we have the ability to overcome negative situations. While stress can make it harder for us to cope, in some cases, it leads to greater stress tolerance in the future. While most of the research centers on developing resilience in children, resilience is a skill that can be taught. We can learn to be more resilient. Through the use of cognitive therapies and mindfulness meditation, we can influence an individual's response to stress. Focusing on resiliency also affords us the opportunity to take a strengths-based approach with our clients. It is a myth that resilience is a personality trait. It's actually a process of adaptation that's facilitated by the presence of a number of skills and characteristics. And we can improve our level of resiliency throughout our lifetime. There are several factors that researchers agree influence the presence of resiliency in the face of stress and trauma. These include our genetics or epigenetics, our developmental environment, the community environment, our neurobiology, and psychosocial factors. Research has demonstrated that the most important predictor of childhood resilience is a child having at least one stable, caring relationship with a parent, caregiver, or other trusted adult. Families set us on the path for having resiliency. They offer protective factors like nurturing and attachment, a parent's knowledge of child development, and parental resilience. Through the provision of supportive social connections and access to concrete community supports, they can help provide an environment that fosters resiliency. When children develop emotional and social competencies, they exhibit greater resiliency. Individuals with the following characteristics are likely to have greater levels of resiliency. This includes self-value, emotional self-regulation, active coping skills, supportive social networks, and a sense of purpose or spirituality. As you can see, all of these characteristics are skills and abilities that can be developed throughout the life course. This again means that resiliency can be learned and developed within individuals, regardless of their starting points. Let's look at each of these characteristics in more detail. First, self-value. This means that the individual practices continuous self-care, makes healthy choices, even when it's hard to do so, and makes safe choices. They prioritize their physical well-being. Emotional self-regulation refers to an individual's ability to focus, plan ahead, control their impulses, and demonstrate cognitive flexibility and optimism. Active coping skills refers to individuals who can seek out resources when they're needed, engage in healthy responses to stress, build self-efficacy, and reject avoidance behaviors. Those with a supportive social network can demonstrate healthy social skills, which helps facilitate the building of those relationships. They engage in secure relationships with trusting others, and they engage in positive community involvement through activities such as sports, philanthropy, or civic groups. Last characteristic of resiliency is having a life with purpose and/or spirituality. These are individuals who have positive core beliefs. They exhibit altruistic behavior, and they search for meaning or purpose within their lives. This may transpire through faith and spirituality. While we traditionally think of developing resiliency as a way of restoring someone to wholeness after a traumatic event, we also have the ability to grow beyond our initial level. This is called post-traumatic growth. This means that not only can we get back to our normal levels of resiliency after a traumatic event, but we can go even further than we'd originally imagined. So how do we build resiliency and even obtain that post-traumatic growth? Here's 4 steps to get you started. The first is to develop social supports. Finding a healthy, supportive social network fosters an environment where resiliency can thrive. Learn coping strategies. The healthy coping skills that were provided in Module 4 can set you on the path towards resiliency. Formulate a preparedness plan. This is your contingency plan of what to do in case of a particular event. When we think through and prepare and problem solve in advance, we have greater resiliency in the moment. Finally, engage in self-compassion practices like those demonstrated in Module 6. You can find a great number of resources on self-compassion at Kristen Neff's website, which is www.self-compassion.org.